Hello, my name is Suzanne Johnson. I'm a therapist in Clinton Township, Michigan. I've been a social worker since 1980 and a master's level social worker since 1986. I really love to help people, and I think now is an exciting time because there's so many resources on the internet. The title of this talk is 11 Great No-Cost Resources for You if you can't afford therapy, or if you do have therapy and you want to supplement it. The first category I'm going to talk about is a whole group of groups, and that is the 12-step groups. First started with Alcoholics Anonymous, and then there's now at least 36 groups using the same 12 steps because it's really principles towards mental health. The one I think would apply to if you have some emotional struggles and you can't afford therapy but you want help is called adultchildren.org, and I'm going to share with you their website to share what you can find there. First of all, there's meetings, online meetings, phone meetings, a lot of meetings, hundreds of meetings. Those are free. You just contribute a little bit to keep running them. And the next thing that I thought was really helpful is resources. Under here, there's adult audio workshops. And if you scroll down, you can see I listened to this one here on boundaries. That's very good. They have a new book called The Loving Parent Guidebook. And there's some talks on that. Here's more on boundaries. And then also under resources, there's other workshops and things I haven't had time to explore. Next in this category, there's some other 12-step groups that you might not know about because they're not that well known. Is Codependents Anonymous, to help people who are too passive or too codependent. Overeaters Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous, Workaholics Anonymous, Emotions Anonymous. And I'll list the 36 12-step groups below. If you have problems with overeating or anorexia, there's OA.org. And let me show you one of their websites. OA.org has a lot of meetings listed too. And they have podcasts for the beginner. You can take a test to see if you qualify as a compulsive overeater. And one of the meetings that came from the OA organization is called A Vision for You. And I just want to share about that group. Okay, first I got to go to this, but here we have the adult Overeaters Anonymous, A Vision for You. And they have daily podcasts that are recorded for, I think, about the last 12 years that you can listen to on your phone. You can download them. But my favorite part is special editions, where on Sundays they have a speaker or a panel of speakers give a talk for about an hour. And then people ask questions. You can download these. You can listen to them anytime. Just click on the play button. Okay. Next, I want to talk to you about Recovery International. It's a wonderful self-help group. They've got trained people running the groups that have done it for years. It is a mental health self-help organization founded in 1937 by neuropsychologist Abraham Lowe in Chicago, Illinois. The program is based on self-control, self-confidence, and increasing one's determination to act. A friend of mine has been in the program for years, and she helps me when I'm upset with principles she has learned in the program. I bought, I can't find now, some here they are. They have what they call spotted thoughts to help change your feelings and thoughts. And so I bought a whole pack of them because I find them helpful. I'll just pick some to show you two examples. Feelings are not facts. When feeling overwhelmed, do things in part X. Let's see. Learn to laugh at yourself. Don't insist on your importance. And they've got many more. I'll put a link to their program below. They have free meetings, and then for $35 a year, maybe it's gone up, but then you can participate in meetings where people share their difficulty and other people help. Now, to give you an idea of what a meeting might look like, I'll put a link below to a recorded spot it. It's not exactly a recording of the meeting, but it's something that where they show how the 4 steps are applied. And some other examples from Recovery International is sometimes people do things that annoy us, not to annoy us. Right trust and imagination that has so often failed us. That's a favorite of mine. It's average to be uncomfortable in uncomfortable situations. And feelings can't be controlled, but if you don't work them up, they will pass. The third resource I would like to tell you about is emotional freedom technique. I think it's getting more popular, but in case you haven't heard of it, it's a way of tapping on the endpoints and meridians, acupuncture points, and it can really help clear out negative feelings and help you relax. There's probably more resources than I'm going to mention here, but the one I know about is EFT Universe. And let me show you about that website. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. This is, this is Carol Look. She is an EFT practitioner. So let me go to that, and then I'll come back to the website I was going to show you about. And under Carol Look, you would click on resources and then click on articles. And then if you scroll down, she has interviews. And so these interviews are really helpful to learn how to use the practice more. And while we're on the internet here, let me go to EFT Universe. Must have accidentally closed that. And there's so much on this website, but what I thought was helpful is to go to EFT tapping and click on tapping and then click on learn EFT and free EFT videos and also scientific research on EFT. Next, I want to tell you about the resource of havening. Havening is a method, I found this on their website, that uses the recent knowledge from neuroscience. And the method is designed to change the brain to de-traumatize memories and remove their negative effects from our psyche and our body. And as part of the protocol, they use very gentle touch. Depending on the nature of the problem, it can be done with a trained practitioner, or sometimes you can do it yourself, but they do warn, and this applies to EFT too, and some of the other self-help techniques. Don't do it if you have a serious trauma or if you suffer from a really serious psychological disorder. I mean, don't do it alone. But if there's things like anxiety about taking a test or upset about relationship problem that you can probably work on your own, Kate Truitt on YouTube has 257 videos of how you can use the technique for yourself. Every time I look, she has more videos, so there'll probably be more when you look. But she's a very good teacher, and she's got over 100 self-help like guided meditations, and she tells how to use it for different things like pain, control, anxiety, and performance. The fifth method I want to tell you about is using bilateral stimulation in a very simple way called tapping. And there's a book called Tapping In. And basically, if you think about something that's positive, such as someone caring about you, or like my cat sitting on my lap right now, and it makes you feel good, and you score like, oh, how good does that make me feel? 1 to 10, say 7. And then you tap like 8 times on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4. I won't tap the whole way through. Then and you keep doing that, it can increase that good feeling. And the author of this book goes into detail how you can use this very simple technique, but powerful technique in many different ways. I'll tell you some of the chapter titles. One is a safe place. 2, nurturing figures. Another is managing anxiety. Another is healing illness and injury, boosting performance, opening creativity, love resources, resources for peace and calm, It's just got so many good ideas. I haven't had a chance to explore it all myself, but it's recommended by a colleague, and she said it's helped herself and many of her clients. The next method I want to tell you about is there's a lot of self-help groups on Facebook. Maybe there are Instagram and other places, but the place I know is about Facebook. And I just put in a search about support groups for mental health. And these are some of the things that came up, the groups that came up. Therapist-led peer support group, tips for mental health and well-being. Another one is mental health support for success. Another is support for LGBTQ and mental health coming out. Another one is parent support for children and adolescent mental health. So, and there's more too. Like if you have chronic fatigue syndrome or there's just so much that just keeps adding in. Let's see. Next, I want to tell you, there is a lot of good therapists giving talks on YouTube now. One that caught my eye is Doc Snipes, S-N-I-P-E-S. And she's got a talk, for instance, called Healing the Inner Child, Addressing Trauma and Abandonment. And she's really personable, and you can tell she likes to teach. So you might want to check her out. The next one, the 8th free resource is Byron Katie. She's written a lot of books, and she wants to help people so much. She's been spending years going around the world, giving talks and trainings. And there's a lot of YouTube videos where she's interviewed or she helps other people. She's got a website called The Work that explains a 4-step simple process that she, can help you with your problems. Also, a couple of her books are on YouTube as audios. The next one, number 9, is if you have someone that's close to you or you have to deal with that has narcissism, they really know how to take you off guard and hurt you. There's Dr. Les Carter on YouTube has a number of videos explaining how to deal with them. It's called Surviving Narcissism. The 10th resource is called highlysensitiverefuge.com. I just discovered this one. This is for highly sensitive people. I think it would help any people, and these are articles that have just been posted in the last few days. One is 4 key boundaries to set as a highly sensitive person. If you're not familiar, a highly sensitive person is someone who's more sensitive. You can read more about it on the website, but it can be a very good thing, but it can be very hard if you don't know how to deal with that sensitivity. And I find that almost all the clients I have are highly sensitive people. So it just tells you kind of life is harder for them to navigate. I'm one myself, but if you have the right tools, then it can be a more beautiful life and you can experience it more deeply. Some of the other articles I saw just in the last few days on that website is how I finally reached my potential as a highly sensitive person and how you can too. And 7 common struggles of empaths. An empath is someone who feels other people's feelings. 7 common struggles of empaths and how to turn them into strengths. And the 11th resource is my website. I put a number of articles I hope that's helpful to people, and I hope to turn them into YouTube videos on my YouTube video channel. But some of the titles that I haven't turned into YouTube videos yet are Sugar, Pleasure, or Poison. 2, Under the Influence of Trauma. It's like the after effects of trauma, part 1 and part 2. 3, Using nutritional supplements to reduce anxiety, depression, and bipolar. This talks about the work of William Walsh, who's been doing research on this for 30 years. He thinks it would be so much better, and I agree, if we could use supplements to help people with major mental problems first instead of using medication. And then if that, or at the same time, but just not only use medication. And then another article I have, and I did turn this one into a YouTube video, is how an affordable near-infrared sauna lights that you can buy from your hardware store can reduce anxiety, improve sleep, and increase peaceful feelings. And another article I wrote is the pitfalls of perfectionism. So I hope you found these 11 resources, one or more that you might want to look at. I know when you're struggling emotionally, it can be so overwhelming. So don't try to look at all of them, but if any one to cause you, give it a look at, and I'll put links to each of them under this YouTube channel. If there's ones that you know about I haven't listed, please make a comment below, because I want to help as many people as possible, and there's just more and more to learn. So I hope that was helpful, and have a good day. Bye-bye. I realized after I finished the other video that I left out some very important resources, which I would like to share with you in this video. First, let me share the screen, and I'll share one after another. This one is called celebraterecovery.com. It's for people who are Christians who want to use a 12-step program to recover from any kind of problem that you could have. And you can go to their Find a Meeting and put in your zip code, as I did. And then it just shows you what meetings are close to you, CR, CR, CR. Some of my clients and a relative have attended, and they have said very positive things about these meetings. The next one I want to tell you about is OCD stories for people who have OCD. These are audio podcasts where people share their recovery from different kinds of OCD. As you can see, this one here is about siblings, mindfulness, and self-compassion. And there's so many more. I've listened to some, they are very good. This is some individual stories. The next resource I want to share with you is it's on YouTube, called Therapy in a Nutshell, by a therapist who has many subscribers and many recordings. It was recommended to me by one of my clients, and I found that they're very good. As you can see, some good examples how to rewire the anxious mind, intrusive thoughts and overthinking, the skill of, let's see what this one is.
Have a million thoughts a day, but you
the skill of negative diffusion. Doesn't that sound good? Yeah, so there's more to check out if you like this kind of thing. Next is called A-ACA. It's Asperger's Autism Network. And I don't know much about this one, so you could explore it. Resources. Looks like they've got for children, teens, and adults, for professionals. Meetup.com. This is a place you can go to if you want to meet new people. Just put meetup.com, put in your zip code. I'll put in my zip code. And then if you have particular interests, such as photography, maybe yoga, you just put that in there. Oh, the zip code went out. 202, that's Detroit. And it will show you what meetings are. Well, you guys say, don't put any distance, say within 25 miles, and then it will show you meetings that are close to you. So for instance, this one is, there's a photography group in Royal Oak, one in Farmington, and so forth. The next resource I'd like to share with you is called ADDA. It's at add.org, and this is for people with attention deficit disorder. They've got virtual support groups, which one of my clients went to and he said was helpful. And somewhere in here I found free work, or the workshops too. Next is along the same line for people with ADD, is called ADDitude. It's a magazine. As far as I can tell, the articles are free on the internet. Just to give you some examples, this one's article is about neurodivergency. There's another one, mindful meditation to soothe the squirming souls. I mean, the titles just sound so interesting. What's your tipping point? How toxic relationship residue poison my love life. I've read some of them, they're very good. The next resource is called An Infinite Mind. This is for people with dissociative disorders. And they've got resources like websites, that's very good. And they've got survivors, sharing their stories so people don't feel so alone. This is an excellent website. And then last but not least, I looked up HSP, highly sensitive person, on Facebook, and I found more than 15 groups. Well, as you can see, this one has the top one, 48,000 members, 10 posts a day. They have parents of children with highly sensitive children. There was one I saw, I don't see it here, but oh, here's highly sensitive person globally. So that would be interesting to meet with people around the world, talk to them through Facebook. Highly sensitive persons are people who are highly sensitive. Okay, so that's it for now. If you feel I left out any really important resources, please list them below and I can add them by text to this video. Have a good day.